Let's see what happens. I canceled the last one because people didn't show up. And then I had like one person tell me in the comment section that they was going to tune in. And had a couple people go to me on IG and was like, where the stream? So I'm back. Let's see what happened. Tonight we're supposed to talk about the DNC week. And just some highlights, some points. And just get real personal about what we felt about the DNC this particular week. Again, I do not like to talk to myself on a live stream. I could do that on a pre-recorded video. I'm being very selfish with my time these days, if y'all haven't noticed. So, if I don't get anybody in here, I will then cancel this stream as well. So, we're already 1 minute into the stream. There is not a soul in here. None of those people that said they was looking for the stream or here. We shall see. We shall see. I had notes, everything. I was ready for tonight's stream, child. I was ready for it. So, but no, I'm not going to just talk to this freaking camera. I could do that on a pre-recorded thing and just let y'all come give y'all opinion in the comment section if y'all wish to do that. So, we'll see. We rolling into 2 minutes now. And in 2 minutes, there seems to be no one entering the chat again. And then y'all be asking for these chats. That's what be killing me. So, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We got one. We got one. How you doing? Who you be? That does not even make sense. Who you be? So, there's one person in the chat. And that's 0. They just left the room. What about us? What about all the things after? What about us? Okay. Mm-hmm. 25 seconds before I shut it down again. I got one person in the chat, and who might you be? And then one person left again. So I really don't got the patience for live streams with no participation. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end this chat as well. I gave the last one 5 minutes. Let's see what happens on this one. Oh God, these damn moles on my face. One more minute and I'm shutting it down. Thank you for the like. But who are you? Hey, Miss Kira, how you doing? I mean, it could just be me and you, girl, but I would like to have live streams with people that participating. So if you want to just talk with me and you, we could just talk with me and you. I have no problem doing it. We were supposed to be discussing the DNC for this week and the different things that happened. Just some highlights, point out what stood out to a lot of people. Some of the most powerful speeches and why we felt that way. What happened with the protesters. Hey, Tanya. I miss you, girl. Tanya, where are you at now? Are you still in Tennessee? So yeah, we were gonna talk about that. We were gonna talk about the protesters. I was gonna talk about the Desi or DZJ. You've been in and out with the DNC. You're in Massachusetts now. Okay, that's a state I've never been to, so we're gonna have to make something happen and reunite up in there. Where the hell is Massachusetts? That's East Coast, right? Up East Coast? Okay. If you was in and out, Miss Kira, you missed an event. The DNC was a freaking party. First of all, family reunion, a cookout. On top of it being church. That it was so much that was happening in this DNC, a comedy show. It was everything. It had so many layers of stuff going on. But yeah, I'm talking about some of the hiccups. It was off the chain. I caught most of the highlights. Girl, you have to, I'm telling you, you would not be disappointed if you watch the entire thing. Now, I will say, well, since we got 4 people in the room, I can talk to these 4 people. Was it Desi J or DZ? Desi J. Desi J. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the chat. You caught the Obamas? Oh my goodness. The way the Obamas presented themselves at the DNC was what I was missing when Barack Obama was in the White House. I felt he came in, gave us a strong sense of black pride, and then he got in the office and muted himself. It was too much stuff going on that he was trying to be politically correct about, in my opinion. And I was like, Michelle said the other night, do something. That's how I felt doing his whole administration. Like, I voted for him both times, but that second time I was like, fuck. Like, we gonna get 4 more years and him not, like standing up, showing that he's standing up in the presence of a lot of these different things. Like all those attacks that he had against him and his wife, and he had some snazzy little comebacks over the years. But Michelle was like, when they go low, we go high type of energy. And I was like, fuck that. So I was, can we still watch now that it's over? Yes, you can still watch all 4 days. If you go to my community tab, I posted a link every day that you can actually go and watch the whole thing. It's from various channels. I tried to stick with Kamala Harris channel originally because I didn't have like all the extra commentary from the other channels that was showcasing it. But I think the last 2 days I ended up on Brian Tyler Cohen's channel, and he kind of talks through some of the stuff, which for me is cool. But if you just want to get the DNC, then yeah, then you just want to do that. They can say what they want now, the Obamas. I agree. They can say what they want, Tiny, but I wanted them to say it while they was in the White House. Because even though, like, I cuss a lot. Even without taking out the cursing, Kamala actually is snapping back. She is proven to be a snapback queen in a very presidential way, which is what I lacked from the Obamas. And I'm like, one, if you didn't know, I'm not a Democrat. I am an independent. I lean more progressive than anything. But usually I vote Democrat because they fit more with my values. So yeah, I wanted them to just snap back at their ass at least once or twice. Even Joe Biden was had a comeback every once in a while. He did it so jokingly where it wouldn't be taken as offensive, but Joe Biden was snapping back on their ass a lot of times. But overall, for those of you who did watch it, what do you think was the most impactful speech coming from a politician? Because my most impactful speech that was not a politician was the young girl that spoke about her sexual abuse. That lives with me. That sits with me. It just moved me. Baby Warnock was going at it. Warnock started off slow. Then he got into his groove, Because at first it was like you could tell he was trying not to be preachy. And but then he came in and said, you know what, let me be myself. Warnock tore it down. Now, one of the viewers named T.R. Williams, she said she watched Hakeem Jeffries twice, and I realized I did too. Hakeem Jeffries set it off to me. I was hanging with AOC for a minute, and maybe it's because AOC is loud and in your face, you know, and she kind of really blunt too when she speak. But Hakeem Jeffries was kind of poetic when he spoke. That I was like, yeah, dog. You said some stuff there. Yeah, he was awesome. But Warnock was so good, so good. The first night, now I'm gonna tell you, first night was long as ever. I fell asleep before Biden even spoke. It was like 11:55 p.m. Central Standard Time when Biden got on the stage, and then he spoke for an hour. I was already asleep, so I watched him the next morning. One thing I can say about Joe Biden, he hit on a lot of points about his legacy. He hit on a lot of points about what Kamala could bring, and then he, you know, threw some jabs out there at Donald. But one thing I did notice too is that Joe is getting up there. I finally have to concede and admit that he is getting up there. I can say I'm 2/3 of his age, half his age, or whatever. What is he? 81. So I'm 2/3 his age, pretty much. There's a lot of time that I have brain fog, and that's what it seems like. It doesn't seem like he's getting senile to me. He's not having mental stability issues or anything like that. But you can tell every once in a while he has a little bit of brain fog. And I think when he has those moments, he gets stuck in his words, and he already is a natural stutterer. So then it makes it worse because it makes him nervous. When people get nervous, when people stutter, people who have a stutter get nervous, it makes it happen more. So I think when his brain fog moments happen, he kind of realizes it and he gets nervous. Bill Clinton was the same way. I was just going to say that. Bill Clinton was the same way, and he 3 years younger than Joe Biden. And his speech was long as hell too. But the one thing I can say about Bill, I did not realize that Bill Clinton was 78 years old. He do look damn good for 78. I was like, wait a minute there, Bill. Okay. But yeah, doing his speech, he lost his train of thought. I think he got off script. I think the teleprompter be going too fast. And at some point, him and Biden lost what they was about to say on the screen. But then they try to come back. You say you the same way? I'm the same way. If you ever watch some of my videos, I could be in the middle of doing a recap or a review, and then I lose my train of thought. Like, what the hell was I talking about? Or I'll be stumbling over my words, and I have to slap my face to try to get myself back together. I do that now. So I don't attribute that to him, you know, having... I think they said that they were trying to say that he had, what's the word? Not Alzheimer's, dementia. That he was heading towards dementia, and he was heading towards senility. I don't think that's the case. I just think he had moments of brain fog, and then when he had those moments where he was very conscious of the fact that it happened, and he loses train of thought, maybe lose his place on that teleprompter. You say you blame perimenopause? You know what? I'm gonna start blaming that too. For real, I'm gonna start blaming that too, because something is going on. Yeah, Biden he knew exactly what he was going to say, and he was able to come back from it. It's just, you know, he stammered just a little bit, but he came back. He was like, I think he realized, okay, I ain't got my thought together right here, right now, but let me just gather my words and we're going to keep going. And the fact that he, like I said, came on at 12 o'clock at night and spoke for a whole doggone hour for an 81-year-old man, he did a damn good job, in my opinion. Okay, he tired, he exhausted, he was up late. They was there all day partying and kicking and having a good time. It was a fiesta. It was a total fiesta. One of the first moments in the whole DNC that made me emotional is when Jasmine Crockett started speaking. And she was talking about her story of how her and Kamala met, and how she was like, on her day one, she was ready to quit. She was like, this ain't for me. I ain't supposed to be here. And Kamala took her to the side and was like, "Hey, this for you, boo." You know, in so many words. Yeah, Bill looked doggone good for 78 years old. It's amazing. I was like, "Oh, what the heck is going on?" No wonder why he got fellatio in the White House. He was a good little whippersnapper. Oh, Bill Clinton came on up there. And he said it too. He said, "One thing I do know is I look better than Trump. I still am younger than Trump," is what he said. And they the same age. But yeah, Jasmine Crockett's story just had, when she got me emotional, I was gone for the rest of the doggone DNC that day. I mean, I was like so in tune with my emotions. So when Warnock got up there, baby, he just tore it up. I was like, I don't even go to church. I haven't been in church. What, I'm 51 now. I haven't been in church. My daughter, 27, 26, 21 years. Other than for a funeral or for I think I went for my niece's christening. That's it. A wedding. Did I go to a church for a wedding? I did go to a church for a wedding. But in 21 years, that's how long it's been since I was associated with a church. When Warnock started speaking, I almost spoke in tongues. I was going, shut up about a Honda. I was like that. He was going. He would have got me. I would have walked on down at the end for the benediction and rededicated myself for the 11th time. Y'all know what, I'm joining church, rededicated myself 10 times in church. I already had 10 baptisms. I would have did it for the 11th time that day if I was in that DNC when Warnock was speaking. He brought it home. He brought it home. And I heard like I said, I end up on a lot of different channels or what have you, and you see in the comment section like, why they keep talking about Christianity, why they keep talking about, I was like, they wasn't talking about Christianity, they was talking about faith. And every religion that I know of associates with faith in some kind of way. It may not be praying to Jesus or, you know, washing feet like in Buddhism or reading the Quran, you know, like but every religion that I'm aware of is still faith based, whether it's Christianity or not. Even people who are spiritual, they still have a faith belief system when they talk about spirituality, because they're believing in something. They're manifesting, they're trying to manifest, they're trying to call and talk to the universe. They want something to happen for them, and they're believing in it. That faith is just a belief. It has nothing to do with Christianity. But I saw that a lot of people in the comment sections are like, they got too much Christianity going on up in here. I was like, what is wrong with your soul? What is wrong with your soul? You don't know the difference. And then people arguing about stuff that they don't know what the hell they're talking about. And that irritates me. So I had to stay out the comment section a lot. One of the other things it was about moving people. I messed with Buddhism and I got the Holy Spirit when Warnock spoke. Okay, when he spoke, I was like, wait a minute now. Wait a minute now, he is talking to my soul. You know, sometimes like when I grew up in church, you would go to church and do whatever you had to do Saturday night. You go in service, you sit down and the pastor start ministering and you feel like he's talking directly to you. You feel like everything he's saying is for you. That's exactly how I felt when Warnock spoke. Exactly how I felt. And it was a few other people who wasn't even ministers who were speaking that was still ministering to me, so to speak. Because like when the first night when we had Jasmine Crockett speak, it was so many good speakers on the first night. Oh my goodness. I can't think straight. See, here I go with the brain fog. I can't think right now of what the hell I was finna say. So I'm gonna keep moving on. But overall, yeah, Warnock, his speech got me. Hakeem Jeffries, their speech got me. The Republican speaker, Adam Kinzinger, his speech got me. Hey, Phone Joe, what's going on, girl? Kissinger, his speech was so needed. It was so needed because I heard Kamala Harris say this once, and I haven't heard her repeat it again until Thursday night. But he made it so clear: just because you are voting for Kamala does not turn you into a Democrat. And I don't know why a lot of people who are claiming the title as Republican claims that as so inbred into their DNA that they if they call themselves anything other than a Republican, or if they do anything outside of Republican lines, then they are nasty, or they feel dirty about themselves, like, ew, I can't be called a Democrat. I'm like, you're not a Democrat, you're just a Republican voting with your values. That's all you are. And that's how I've always felt as an independent. Like, say, I vote for Democrats mainly, but there's like, when we were during the original election cycle, when they were still trying to pick who was going to be the nominee, and I told y'all I was listening to Nikki Haley sometimes, which I've learned over time that how much of a fraud she is. But initially when she was speaking, I said, if I was a Republican woman, she would get me, because there was a lot of things that she was saying that was lining up with my values, even though as a party overall I couldn't have it. But when we look at who's on the ticket now, we got Trump on the ticket now, and we got Kamala Harris on the ticket. It is like a no-brainer for me on who is going to be the best representative for this country. And I know a lot of black people, we want them to do something specific for black people, and I personally don't understand why they can't. They have the Asian policy. They have policy. They give funding to the natives. They give funding to Holocaust victims. The Holocaust didn't even happen here in the United States. They give funding to every other, or some type of policy that is made specifically for certain groups, races, or cultures of people, which they have not done specifically for black people. And that was one of the things that Barack Obama pissed me off about. He's like, he wasn't going to specifically do anything for black people because he's the president for all, but all these other politicians can create things specifically for other races. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that Bill Clinton did write a policy specific towards black people in America, which is why a lot of people call him the first black president. Because he did us, I can't remember exactly what it was. I don't have my laptop open with me right now for me to even Google it, but I believe there was a specific policy that he did specifically to help black people as a whole in this country. So I hope that we, can get some more DEI policies going on. But when I'm looking at this particular election right now, I'm looking at the country as a whole. That's why for me, the Gaza matter doesn't take much precedence, because although what happens in other countries as far as democracy and the United States being allies to other countries does affect this country, overall, when I look at everything that we need to be looking at, or everything that I find valuable for my way of life, my way of being, that's only a small, minute part. And there's nothing about that particular situation that's going to outweigh or cancel out all the other things or all the other values that I want to look for in my president. So we had the protests going on. And I know, like, ever since the DNC started, and pretty much at a lot of Kamala Harris's rallies, you've seen protests happening outside of her campaigns or her rallies or what have you. And for the DNC particularly, the protests, from what I found, was put together by some of the delegates. Now, we know she secured the delegate nomination, right? I explained this in the last live stream we did. The John Lewis Voting Rights Act, Kamala's going to do it. I hope so. I really hope so. I really hope so. So, I explained this in the last live, that when Biden dropped out and he endorsed Kamala Harris, that it was out of the norm, because it's not something that they normally would do, but it's not something that was illegal. It was something that he could do, because even though he won the primaries in February, it wasn't until the DNC happened that the delegates actually gave their votes to who they wanted the nominee to be. So they could have picked anybody. They could have picked Harambe, anybody they could have put on there and said, this is who we want to be our nominee, not the person who won the primary. So it was critical for him, though, that when he dropped out, to endorse Kamala Harris, because I told y'all before that they didn't want her to be vice president. They didn't want her to be the nominee at all. When they were pushing Biden out, they was trying to push her out as well. And there's been so many interviews. You can Google them on YouTube, or you can just Google the news. So many interviews out there that they've actually admitted that that's what's happening. After night 3, Nancy Pelosi was doing an interview with MSNBC, I believe it was, and they specifically asked her about the push, and she said ever since it happened that her and Joe Biden have not spoken at all. She hopes there wasn't any hard feelings or anything like that. Jasmine Crockett spoke about it too. She said that when they were doing this push to get him out the door, they specifically stated they did not want Kamala Harris as well. Because I was saying this, for me, if he won the election, which I believed he still would have, I don't care what y'all, I believe he still would have won. That if something would have happened to him because of his age, if he was too old, she was going to be the president anyway. So with that in mind, if he was too old to fulfill his duties, if he became senile, if he became demented, she was going to take over anyway. So the fact that they was trying to push him out already told me they didn't want her in. So Biden stated it was imperative for him to come back to endorse her and get people on board. So like after he had dropped out of the race, within 25 minutes, he came back out and said, I'm endorsing Kamala Harris. And then it just, hopped on board. So with that, like I said, the delegates, that's why she was saying that she still had to fight to get the delegates. Biden had 3,700 delegates. And I got to sneeze 1 second, y'all. Thank you. I know some of y'all said bless you. So Biden had 3,700 delegates. He was hoping that his 3,700 delegates automatically support her, which technically speaking they did. But again, until they actually voted here during this DNC week, she didn't clinch the nomination until she got all the delegates she needed. She needed a total of 2,350, and she had his 3,700. But on the night that they solidified it, she ended up with over 4,000. I think I got it in my notes. 4,567 delegates. That's how many she actually secured, and she only needed 2,350. So she is legally the nominee. But like I said, there were delegates who were not for her, and they were not for her specifically because of the Palestinian-Gaza war. So there was 52 delegates. I'm not sure if you watched Roll Call Night. Roll Call Night was off the chain too. I'm gonna get back to that in a minute. But if you watch Roll Call Night, some of the people were like, we got 57 votes for Kamala Harris and 3 present. Okay, the present votes were the people who were deciding not to vote for her. That's what the present votes meant. Minnesota had 57 votes for Kamala, 2 that was present. Then you had some people who just didn't show up, and a lot of the people who didn't show up was actually outside protesting. And the protest outside was put together by those uncommitted delegates, and they were uncommitted to her because of the Gaza war. From my research, what I found out is that they wanted to have an American, do I remember Michigan president votes? Oh, I just doggone downloaded it, but it's on my phone. Let me find out. Because it was 52 altogether for the whole delegation. Let me see. I want to say Michigan was 18. I want to say Michigan had the highest number. Michigan president votes. DNC. Okay, let's see what we got from Michigan. Michigan took the main stage. I don't see it, at least on this page, how many people. But I thought it was 18, if I'm not mistaken, from Michigan. Yeah, everything I'm showing is just giving me the total. Roll call. Just let me look for under this article here. If I don't see it in this one, I'm just gonna go with what our total is. I don't see it specifically, but the crazy thing is I got it. I saved it, but I saved it to my phone, which I'm live streaming on. But so basically, okay. So what happened? They wanted an American Palestinian to actually speak at the DNC. Evidently, they don't know how the DNC works. The DNC is set up in a way that they have speakers who speak good towards the nominee, and they show contrast between the nominee and the opponent. The American Palestinian speaker that they wanted to have speak was not going to do that at all. They wanted to specifically address Gaza, and they wanted to specifically address what they believe Kamala Harris's role should have been as the vice president about an arms embargo for Gaza. A lot of the people that were interviewed, there was Muslim women who was pretty much running the of the delegates, that they've already disbanded the Muslim Women for Harris group because she didn't allow the American Palestinian person to speak. So their whole thing was, if this one person can't speak, then we're not going to support her at all. They felt that they were being disrespected by the vice president. Let me get my notes. I know, I think I wrote it down. I'm going to try to quote. Okay, so here we go. So, it was organized by the uncommitted delegates, which explains, a lot of people keep asking, well, they weren't showing up at the RNC. Why they weren't at the RNC? Because they wasn't Republican delegates. They were Democrat delegates who decided to protest. This was their way of protesting Kamala's nomination, is by not committing to her votes, and to actually organize the protest outside of the United Center for those 4 days. So the delegates had planned to stay outside of the United Center until the campaign allowed an American Palestinian to speak on stage. From what I know, they ain't still there. Then their whole protest said that they was gonna stay there until American Palestinian was able to speak on behalf of the campaign, which they're not gonna let happen. But as far as I know, they went home. Basically, they wanted an arms embargo, and the Muslim Women for Harris, like I said, they disbanded because they didn't care about the state of America. And this is my words here. They don't care about the state of America. They didn't care about the other issues that we have to deal with as a country. They only was concerned about the war in Gaza. They're not concerned about the war in Ukraine. They're not concerned about the genocide happening over in the Congo and why the United States is not involved in that. The only issue was the war in Gaza. So they would basically, in my opinion, indirectly support Trump getting into office, other than consider the umbrella of policies and concerns that this country is facing. One of the leaders, named Walid Shahid, she's one of the founders of the movement. She said in her news conference on Thursday that the Democratic Party did offer the group several meetings with Kamala Harris and with other senior campaign officials. They didn't want that. They just want specifically for that person to show up and speak on the stage at the DNC. And since they could not do that, they were told by the Harris campaign that the group, they would not allow the group to define the biggest moment of the vice president's political life. So that's why they didn't get on there. And so that's what the whole protest was about. I personally think that the two women, if you didn't hear this before, on Wednesday, at the Fairmont Hotel, which is where the delegates were staying, the delegates came down to breakfast, and there was two women that came in from the protest. They had been protesting all week. Came inside from the protest, and they put some unidentified objects near the food. Come to find out later on from different reports I saw that maggots ended up in the food, child. So it's still being investigated by the FBI and the wait staff at the hotel. They was able to stop it, they believe, before anybody was able to eat the food, although one person was treated on the scene. But it was definitely protesters that came in off the street, and it was two women that came in and placed these unidentified objects, which we in turn maggots ended up in the food. We're not sure if the unidentified objects were leading them to the maggots, or they was, how the maggots got in. But that's what happened with the food, and the FBI is still investigating. Nobody has been arrested at this time, but the hotel staff was able to catch it all. They cleared the old section, cleaned the dining room, and was able to serve food, new healthy food, to the delegates. So I believe that they going hand in hand. I don't think it's just some random protesters, because like I said, the protest itself was organized by these uncommitted delegates, and this was the hotel that the other delegates were dining at. There was one delegate, one from Wisconsin. He said he got a lot of dirty looks, but nobody treated him or said anything to him, knowing he said he wasn't going to support her. And he actually did show up. He was just the one present vote that they gave for Wisconsin. He didn't actually participate in the protest outside, although they were connected. They had like 30 of the delegates actually go inside, and then the other 22 was outside organizing the protest that was outside. So yeah, that happened on Wednesday, child. So there was a lot going on. But yeah, a lot of people was asking, like, why these protesters not showing up at the RNC? They don't want to talk to Trump. They want RNC delegates, and that's pretty much the whole base of it. They were protesting where they thought that they could have some type of impact, they can have some type of pull. And one thing I can say I like about Kamala Harris, she was like, I'm not gonna let y'all dictate my night. That's not how it's gonna go. I've addressed it on several different occasions. At least I know since December, I've heard her specifically say she's been calling for a ceasefire. But people got to understand that with the United Nations, we have allies. And there are treaties and agreements that are put in place to be part of that whole conglomerate, that whole faction, or whatever you want to call the United Nations. There's a treaties and agreements that are put in place to be part of it. And Israel is part of that organization. So in turn, they are allies. The United States has always supported their allies in any war, not just this one, in any war. So I actually have a clear understanding why they are having the support. Now, I have never said anything about this issue before, because I said I was going to stay out of it, but I'm going to say it today. So get ready to be mad if you want to be mad. Have your selective outrage or whatever you want to do. I'm the type of person, if y'all ever hear me talking about myself and the violent, explosive nature that I can have, I'm the type of person that if somebody attacks me, whether it's for revenge, whether it's get back, whether it's because I've been bullying them, but if they come at me, I'm going to do whatever I need to do to fuck them up. That's me. Okay. Now, saying that, I also have a moral compass that clicks on sometimes. Y'all know it don't click on all the time, but it click on majority of the time for me, that says enough is enough. And at this particular stage in the war, that's what Israel is not doing. Their moral compass is not kicking on. It's not just enough for them to like get back and dominate, that now they want to eradicate a whole group of people. Like at some point you got to say to yourself, damn, am I going too far? And then there's at some point that the allies that I do have, the people who are supporting me, the people who are supplying me with the weapons, the means to do what I need to do, the ships or what have you, at some point ain't your friends or your allies coming to you and saying, dog, you going too far. And that's basically what I've been hearing out of Kamala Harris's mouth since probably about December. And she's been saying, hey, dog, you're going too far. And even though that Joe Biden has not stopped issuing weapons, because we don't know what the fuck the treaties say that they are required to supply to the allies. We don't know what they say. Everybody's speculating on what he can and cannot do, but we don't know what fucking agreements have been drawn up on that United Nations table to say this is what we're supposed to do as a team of countries. So what he's tried to do is at least provide aid to the citizens of Gaza. It ain't been working all the time because Netanyahu, or however you pronounce his fucking name, I don't care how to pronounce it correctly, he got his own program. His moral compass has not kicked on. There has been statements issued from the United States, and I believe from a couple other countries. They have asked for a ceasefire, but it's ultimately up to him to decide what the fuck he gonna do for his own country. Like I said, his moral compass ain't kicked on. We all think that he should have one, but it's not a requirement. It's not a requirement of, from my understanding, from what I'm seeing, it's not a requirement to be in the United States just to have a fucking moral compass. It's just a requirement to do what you're supposed to do for your allies according to whatever agreements they have written down. So I know people want to like have him pull out arms and stop supplying weapons, but again, we don't know what the treaties say for them to be part of the United Nations. If he indeed pulls out 100%, it could be to the point that the United States won't have any allies. We may be eliminated ourselves from the United Nations, and then that makes us vulnerable as a country to attack because we ain't got nobody that's gonna back us up. So, like I say, until you know what the fuck the fucking treaties say, or what they bylaws are as far as what they supposed to do for each other as allies, you can't say that he's not doing everything that he can do. Like I said, that's all they can do is ask. Like if I was beating somebody's ass. Say you like how I explained it with the moral compass not kicking in the treaties. Thank you, because I think that's what I've been trying to be quiet about it because like I know for me, if I was in this particular situation, Gaza attacked Israel. However, it's been on the backbone of being bullied by Israel for years. But they've been fighting for over 100 years. In this particular time, they felt that they had the upper hand in order to strike when the fire is hot, so to speak, and it turned out not so much. Israel came in fighting harder, and like I said, the moral compass is turned off. So now that they don't give a fuck who they fuck up, but that's how I am in a one-on-one fight. If I start to fight my purpose, and I've hated you all these years, my purpose is to fucking unalive your ass. That's how I be feeling when I'm in a personal fight. So I understood that mentality. It's just that with therapy, let me tell you right now, it's with therapy. With therapy, I have gotten to a place that I could pause and I could breathe. I could think about what the fuck I'm doing and the impact that it's gonna have. And I have care and consideration for other people. And that's what their leader of Israel is not doing. And like I say, we all could sit back and say, that's fucked up. True. But think about yourself in the fight. Like, I'm telling you, I be watching just any random thing. When we on YouTube or on TV, and somebody going at it, they going back and forth and they talking about each other, and then somebody say something about their mama. You can't bring my mama, don't talk about my mama died. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck, because I'm trying to hurt you. I'm trying to hurt you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not finna stop whatever I'm doing just because now you emotional and you in your feelings. Like, and you can't tell me what to do, but it's gonna be up to me for my own moral compass to kick in, is what I'm saying. Okay. Anybody got anything that they want to say on that, feel free to. This is, a safe space. We may have people come in and comment otherwise, but it's still a safe space for me. Night 2 of the DNC. We're going to roll on to that. Specifically, the roll call. That had to be one of the livest roll calls I've ever seen in my life. First of all, I have not watched the DNC in its entirety ever in life. This is the first time I've sat and watched all 4 days like I was at a concert. And even though I fell asleep early on a couple days, when I was up, if TR ever come here, I'm up at 4 a.m. and me and her is on Instagram talking about it because we watching videos starting at 4 a.m. every day so I can catch up on what happened at the DNC. They decided to do a music theme roll call this year. And basically, DJ Cassidy, y'all seen him do like the roll call where he bring out old rappers or old singers and they all singing their old songs live, you know, no auto tune, just them and the mic. They call it the pass the mic. That's pretty much what this roll call was, a pass the mic session. So basically what he tried to do, I'm not sure if he hit the point on all of them, but for each state he found an artist that was from that state and he played a song or played music from that artist. I don't think he was successful in covering every state, but for the most part, that's what he did. Because I know when Hawaii came on, they had Bruno Mars. I forgot who they did for Chicago, for Illinois. But they basically try to pull out different artists. So when Georgia came up, I'm telling you, Georgia turned the hell up, child. Georgia came out and brought out Lil Jon. Turned down for what? And it was hype in there. It was a baby in the audience. I was praying that baby had on some ear plugs or something, because my TV was shaking and I was at home and I got up off my seat and I was like, duh, duh, duh. I was up when Lil Jon came down. I mean, clowning. Now the key. Remember Lil Jon was on The Apprentice twice. He was on the regular Apprentice, then he was on the Celebrity Apprentice. And when he was on The Apprentice, him and Donald Trump did not get along. There was a one season, I want to say it was on the original Apprentice, that Donald Trump started calling Lil Jon Uncle Tom, and they got into a whole argument and debate about him calling Lil Jon Uncle Tom. A lot of scenes supposedly was cut from air, but they did catch a lot of it on air. Lil Jon claimed that once he addressed Trump stopped calling him Uncle Tom. But there was a whole lot of behind the scenes stuff going on that was very racist, which made me surprised that he went on the Celebrity Apprentice. But he said he went on the Celebrity Apprentice because if it was being a charity, he wanted to do good for his charity. That's what he claimed. And then there was a couple years later that they was talking about The Apprentice, and they were interviewing Donald Trump, and they was asking him about the situation with Lil Jon, and Trump did a Mariah Carey, Nicki Minaj on him. He was like, who was that? I ain't never heard of him. The same thing he do with his legal cases when he did with E. Jean Carroll and, you know, stuff like that. He can't never remember people specifically, like he did with the who is that, Governor Brown. My daughter says she craved cake. You could bake you a cake. It's some cake mix in the refrigerator. Yeah, so how Trump do with E. Jean Carroll and a few other people, how he claimed he can't remember who they all, like Willie Brown, that was in San Francisco. He said he was on a helicopter that went down with Willie Brown, and it turns out it wasn't Willie Brown, it was another black man in LA. Yeah, you know how Trump be doing it. Samuel Jackson too, child, yes. So when he does that type of stuff, he pretends he doesn't know him. And so I think the selection to get Lil Jon to come out and turn up for the delegates was very intentional. It was a shot directly at Trump because, yeah, he pretended he didn't know him. He was like, I don't know who he is. Who you talking about? And he was on his show for 2 years. I mean, 2 different seasons he was on the show. I think in the first Apprentice, Lil Jon got fired on episode 11 and like episode 12 on the Celebrity Apprentice. But yeah, that whole little Uncle Tom situation that they had going on, it made big news. That's how long ago. It was like 2004, and I still remember it. So I think, yeah, this was get back for Lil Jon, for him saying that he didn't know who he was, or he pretended like that situation never happened, type of thing. But that whole roll call was a full-on turn up. Normally they would go in order of the states. And if you look at that, because I watched the RNC too. If you look at that compared to the RNC, it's such a contrast. The RNC specifically told their delegates not to scream. Y'all know how it be when you go to a graduation and they tell the families, please don't scream, don't make no noise. We want to be able to hear everybody's name get called. That's exactly the speech they gave at the RNC. Delegates were not to scream, not to talk loud. They need to get through it and be quiet while they do this roll call. So everybody come up there, you know what? I'm from Missouri. We give Donald J. Trump 53 delegates. Yay. That's pretty much how the whole night was when they did their roll call. But the doggone DNC, baby, everybody was loud. They was dancing. They was singing. They had all the music from all the different artists. California played like 8 different songs, I think. They did California Love with Tupac and Dr. Dre. They did Not Like Us from Kendrick. They was playing all the doggone songs. The RNC was, he said, was like a lullaby. Girl, I don't even know if that was a lullaby. That was sleepy time. It was after it was over when they said, and Donald Trump has secured the nomination for the Republican National Convention. Silence. There was no clapping. You couldn't even, the crickets was even quiet. It wasn't even crickets. It was quiet too. It was just silence. So like when you look at those in comparison, like it was dull and dread on the RNC side. I didn't even watch Donald Trump's speech. He gave a 92-minute speech, child. I didn't even watch it because that's how bored I was with it. I already knew what he was going to say. It was going to be nothing but lies. It wasn't going to be nothing. So I didn't listen to him at all. But I watched the rest of the RNC. I saw when Hulk Hogan ripped his shirt off and all that other stuff. Craziness. But they brought out, in this DNC, they brought out the Central Park 5, who they now consider the exonerated 5. I never realized how involved Trump was. Like they said, he took out a $85,000 ad to try to persecute them. You spent $85,000 to try to persecute this man, these men, and then the real person came out, admitted that he did it. They even proved that he did it with the DNA, and never got an apology from Donald Trump. To this day, they still have not got an apology from Donald Trump. And they said between all 5 of them, they did a total of 41 years. Oh, I was in my feelings. I did not see When They See Us because I feel like I could not watch it. To this day, I don't know what it is about Ava DuVernay's projects. I can't watch them. It's like pulling up to a train wreck. I can't see it. I just can't. I be thinking to myself, why I gotta see this? I don't want to feel that pain. I don't want to feel that trauma. Y'all know smallest thing could trigger me. I don't know. I'm not watching that. I probably would never watch it. I could watch a fictional film about them, but something that's like more close in line with a documentary, they truth. I was watching them on just in that speech that they gave. I was so choked up. I was like, what am I crying? I was so freaking choked up. Oh my goodness. But there was like so many moments of that during this DNC. Let me tell y'all, baby. When Governor Tim Walz was speaking and his son Gus was crying, face just like full of joy. His daughter Hope was crying. Gwen was down there crying. You say you remember how Trump pushed to keep those men in jail. It was crazy. You couldn't watch the movie either. Yeah, I could not watch that movie. Hey, cat girl, hey. I was just in St. Louis too. Where I was there for a funeral, but I didn't see nobody. But yeah, that was such an emotional freaking moment. But yeah, when Gus was up there cheering for his daddy, and he stood up to his feet and was like, that's my dad. That's my dad. Why I stand up and say the same thing? I'm screaming at the TV like, that's right. That's my dad right there. I was rooting with him. And then to wake up the next doggone morning and have old dank ass Ann Coulter post on social media, a picture of him, of Gus crying about his father accepting the award, and she retweeted it saying, "This is weird, bitch. You weird." Oh, I was heated. I was gonna get all up in her. I was finna Google her and everything and get all in her business and tell her about her doggone self. I was like, "Are you serious?" So they try to use that moment and say that he's weird. And I know a lot of the news pundits will be like, "How dare she talk disrespectful about a neurodivergent child?" I honestly didn't know he was a neurodivergent child. I was just looking at the fact that this young man being proud of who his damn daddy was, and he up on that stage like, "That's my father." You know what I'm saying? How many people we know can, like, you know, cheer for their father in that moment, like in that way? You know, a lot of people has got relationships with our parents, and some of them kind of divided. If my daddy got on stage right now and became the VP, I would not be standing up there talking about, "That's my daddy right there." I would not, because of the type of relationship we had. So it just showed me how pure their relationship is one another. But now that I know that he's neurodivergent, and then majority of news pundits know this, which would include and fucking Coulter's old crazy ass, you gonna say it's weird? You gonna talk about this young man in that fashion? I swear, little Gus, he got a whole lot of black aunties, baby, because the black women was all over Instagram. I'm gonna just say black women, but a lot, because that's who I'm mainly attached to. But women, period, was on her head. Like, bitch, no, you didn't. And matter of fact, I'm gonna have to tweet her again and say something again to her old dank ass. But I was like, no, she did not. They call him a weird child. I was like, what? But he's okay. So neurodivergent, from what I understand, is somebody that may suffer with ADHD. Somebody that may be on the spectrum, but some type of different, like autisms, have different levels to it. They're very competent. You know, I forgot what all else falls under that umbrella. But I didn't even know. I just saw a young man, like, seriously rooting for his father. And what's crazy? Yeah, it covers a lot. I was like, I wasn't sure what all it covered, but I knew those were a few things that it covered. What's crazy is after the roll call, and, you know, Coach Walsh brought out the football team, and, you know, they said what they had to say. For 45 minutes after the DNC was over, they were still in that building cheering him on. Different football players were saying what they had to say, a little speech, what they had to say about Coach Walls, and then they just erupted into some more fanfare and cheer for 45 minutes after the DNC ended. It ended almost at 1 a.m. They were still there, turned up. And last night, Donald Trump went on social truth or Truth Social rampage. They said he posted 59 posts while the DNC was going on. One of them being talking about Governor Walsh and saying that he's not a coach, he's an assistant coach. That's still a fucking coach. And he got the name coach because that's what the students called him. So regardless if he was an assistant coach, a head coach, a volunteer coach, a peewee league coach, whatever type of coach, a coach with some horses drawing a wagon on it, if he was that type of coach, if that's what they are calling him, then that's his damn name. And that was one of Trump's stupid ass tweets, that he's not a coach, he was an assistant coach. Boy, if you don't shut the hell up. He went on, boy, he was going off, they said, on Truth Social. What he want? Back up away from the camera. Back up, young sir. Thank you. You can sit down. Either you can sit down or you can leave my room. One of the two. What is it you need? Do you have to go to the bathroom? No. Then what do you need? You already ate dinner. Just lay down and chill out. You got a while before you got to go to the bathroom. You don't go till 11. He just like gritted his teeth at me. Okay, anywho. So, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Say OD student. Say OD student having bad. Did Trump graduate? I don't even know, child. I've never heard anybody mention anything of his degrees. I mean, we do know that his university failed, okay, but yeah, I know he attended college, but did he graduate? I don't remember, child. Anywho, so let me see what else I got here. So, of all the nights, night 4 had to be the least exciting. There was a lot of speeches given. There were very meaningful speeches, and they were still impactful speeches, but they weren't given with the punch that was given on the first few nights. So there was, night 4 had the most hiccups, I would think. We had the DJ. So DJ Cassidy did the roll call, but there was a DJ called DJ Metro who was actually DJing all 4 nights. Night 4, I don't know what the fuck he was doing. He was playing some jams, but he wasn't blending the music well. He started playing songs that had curse words in it, and he couldn't catch himself from like editing out a lot of the curse words. That was one of the reasons why I watched Kamala check. You say you didn't graduate, but I'm not a hater. Wiki says he graduated. He don't act like he did. That's what that was my point. Look, it took me 14 years to graduate. I almost did it, so I can't even say nothing. He acts like he didn't make it out of elementary school. In my circle, we call Trump WhatsApp. Shout out to his rocks. Yes, your stupid ass president. Yep, he's still in with tonight. Yeah, Rocks did call him your stupid ass president. So I call him everything. Dumb Donald, inmate, everything but Commander Zero. I called him everything. But so yeah, like that particular night there, the DJ, he was not on his game that Friday night. A lot of the jokes that they was trying to spit that Friday night kind of fell flat, or people just didn't get them at all. Then they had TMZ. TMZ reported that Beyonce was going to perform at the doggone convention. Why the hell did they do that? The last night the DJ was off, because he was the same DJ all 3 nights. The last night he was off. So TMZ for some reason decided to report that Beyonce was going to perform at the DNC. While this got a lot of eyes watching, waiting for her. If you go to different live streams and you look at their chats, that's all everybody's talking about. Who is it going to be? Is it going to be Taylor Swift? Is it going to be Beyonce? Then there was people in certain chats talking about Taylor Swift plane just landed in Chicago O'Hare. Her private jet just landed. It was all those rumors, and I couldn't understand what was fueling those rumors, because based off of what the news was saying, on each night they had 39% more views than they ever did for a DNC, and way more than the RNC had as well. So we didn't need to like do fake views, which is what I would say they was doing fake views. Just lying to them people. You say, I think Beyonce is done with politics, or at least performances. She might be done with performances. I think she got one more project supposed to come out. I can't remember what it is. But I don't think, I knew, well, for me personally, I knew it was a lie. And the reason why I said I knew it was a lie was because this was the last night of the DNC. This last night is supposed to be about Kamala Harris. There is no fucking way in the world that I would have had Taylor Swift or Beyonce perform on my big night. She wouldn't even let a Palestinian American protester talk on stage. She damn sure ain't finna let two of the biggest artists in the world perform on her night, taking the shine away from her. Performances for politicians. Oh, for politicians, yeah. Beyonce put out a statement. She was never scheduled. She was never scheduled because I want to say Tuesday night, MSNBC gave a lineup. So I knew Pink was gonna perform. I believe that Pink was supposed to do more than what she did, and she didn't, because she had a whole sound check and everything. Like before the show started, depending on what live stream you was watching, you could see Pink doing her sound check and the band, and then when she came out there, it was just her guitarist, her daughter, and 3 backup singers. Yeah, Beyonce cleared Kamala for freedom. Donald Trump used it, and Beyonce's camp is suing Donald Trump. I saw that today. They are suing him for using freedom. A few other people. TMZ is definitely not a valid source anymore. They be saying people died that ain't dead. I stopped listening to them, I don't know how long ago. But yeah, TMZ is definitely not a valid source any longer. But yeah, I think Pink was supposed to actually do more than what she did. I do love that she brought her daughter out there, because just over the years, just like I love Pink. I love watching her. I love her music. I am actually going to see her perform in November. Me and my whole family, we going to see Pink perform. Her tickets, $15 fucking. She said that she was gonna always keep her prices low so that everyday people can buy tickets. Her tickets, $15 fucking, child. I'm going to see Pink. So anywho, just over the years of watching her and watching interviews and stuff, she's always tried to steal self-esteem into her daughter Willow, and to have her daughter on stage singing that song with her. What About Us is one of my favorite songs too. Singing that song there, I thought that was such a beautiful moment. You know, the Dixie Chicks, who are now called the Chicks, I love them too. Yeah, I love country, so I love me some Chicks. But baby, they fucked the national anthem up. I don't know which one of them it was, but one of them was sharp as hell. Everybody else was like, hitting their notes. Somebody fell a little flat every once in a while, but somebody stayed sharp the entire time. Usually I'm like, this is your note, and I was like, no, it's not up there, baby. You jumping higher than what you needed to be. You reaching for some notes that don't even exist. I didn't know what was going on with the Dixie Chicks, but that was horrible. It was horrible. It was. I still love them though. I still love them. Then also on night 4, let me tell you about Eva Longoria. Eva Longoria is an actress, as y'all all know. She's Latino. She's Spanish speaking Latino, and she got up there and taught America the very most incorrect Spanish that you could ever say, and kept repeating it. So she was saying, in our country, in our language, we have this saying called "si se puede." Y'all know we was using "si se puede" when Barack Obama was running, because he wanted to connect with the Latino community. And "si se puede" basically means yes, we can. Eva Longoria said, what we're going to say is "she se puede," which loosely translates to "she, we can." And she kept saying, "She se puede." She said it like 17 times. So I was like, that is not how you say yes, she can, if that's what you're trying to get them to say. Because "she we can" ain't it, girl. "She we can" wasn't it. And I kept thinking, they kept panning the crowd, whoever was doing the camera work. They kept panning the crowd to the Latino delegations, like looking at faces, like every time she said it, they was like, "She se puede?" Like, girl, that is not, don't y'all say that. That is not correct Spanish at all. I know I haven't finished my Spanish lessons, but I know for a fact, "she se puede" don't make no sense. It don't even translate to something that makes sense. I don't know what the hell was going on with Eva Longoria that night. So Friday night had a lot of damn hiccups over all the other nights. But overall, if you have not seen it, I would implore you to watch all 4 nights. Kamala Harris's final speech, she talked on so many good talking points. on the war. She talked on prescription drugs. She talked on housing. She talked on education. She talked on sexual abuse. She talked on so many different topics that at the end, I cannot see how anybody could say she still didn't talk about policy. What did y'all want her to do? Lay out her step-by-step detail at the DNC? If you've been watching her over the past few months, she has spoke in detail on some of the things, especially her economic policy. She did like a whole 45-minute speech about her economic policy. And I was sitting there like, damn, that sounds good to me. Like, I already bought my house, but to give new homeowners $25,000 for a down payment, that's some shit I wish I could have had. Okay, that was beautiful. I was like, okay, damn girl. Okay, but for me to sit here and say, well, she didn't go into detail how she gonna get it done. Really, do you really know all the inner workings of everything that the president does? Do you know when they say, I'm gonna do this exactly step by step, they're gonna give you a guideline, they're gonna give you a book report, something on what exactly they're gonna outline to get the job done? That's not how it works. That's not how it works. That just shows me that you don't know what the fuck you talking about, or even what you're mad about. But yeah, Kamala Harris was very presidential. And I told y'all before, that when she ran before in 2016, I think it was, what's with all these black men not wanting to vote for her? All the black men not wanting to vote for her. Oh my gosh. I'm going to say the majority of the black men that I see that don't want to vote for her, they all 100% don't want to listen to women at all. A lot of them honestly believe that Trump did something big by giving them the stimulus check without even knowing or understanding that that's all he did was sign his name, that the stimulus check was brought on by Nancy Pelosi. It was pushed back with the Republicans. They did not want to sign it. And when they finally got it pushed through, Trump signed his name because he was the president at the time. He didn't give y'all shit. And if I remember correctly, the very first one that came out was when Obama was in office. I remember getting the damn stimulus check when he was in office. But they believe that wholeheartedly, so they sticking to that. There was a panel of quote unquote voters that was spoken to on CNN. It's been all over the news past day or so, of undecided voters, and they all said that after they listened to her DNC speech that they are now going to vote for her, all but two people. And I kept saying, everything that she said in this DNC speech, she's actually said before. So were y'all not listening before? Because there wasn't too much that she said differently, other than her plan about calling for a ceasefire. She got a little bit more into detail about that. But other than that, she pretty much said everything she said. Other black men, I think, that are saying that they are voting for Trump, I don't think they're voters at all. And that brings me back to the panel of undecided voters. So the guy, it was two black men that were sitting on that panel. One of them said he was going to vote for her. Another one gave her speech a C, and then said that she just not ready. That she got a little personal, and that was good, but she really didn't talk about policy. Like I said, he had not to be listening. His name was Brian Rosado. I'm going to say his name because I've been researching the shit out of him all day today, child. Brian Rosado. So Brian Rosado, come to find out, Media's Touch or Midas Touch, I'm not sure how they pronounce their name. I think it's Media's Touch. They went on a little search and they found him, and they found a string of his old prior posts. And for years, he has been a Trump supporter, at least since 2021. He's always talked about getting Donald Trump back into the White House, and he's a badass dude and things of that nature, right? let's say, come to find out, say they have said that he's a Trump supporter. I did a little deeper dive. I went and looked up Brian Rosado. I got his real estate license number. I know where he worked. I got his phone number to his house, his office, and he still has a beeper. I got his beeper. I got his mama's address. I got his address. I got the old address where he used to live. And I got his driver's license number. And I got his voter registration. And I would say about the voter registration, there is none. So in Pennsylvania, in any state, you can look up somebody's voter registration. If you know the zip code they live in, you know the correct spelling of their name, their date of birth, which I found that too. And I found his date of birth through Instagram before he shut his page down, because he was giving a shout out to himself on his birthday. It was July 29th of 1984. So as long as you got his date of birth, you can plug that in and you can find out somebody's voter registration information. I did 84 because based off his Instagram post, he turned 39 last year, even though that media stuff said he turned 39 this year. I did 85. I did his old address, every address he had in Pennsylvania. I looked all them up. I did searching through his driver's license number. There is not a single voter registration in the state of Pennsylvania for this man. Now, he has lived in New York. So prior to 2021, he was living in New York. I got his New York real estate license number there as well. I haven't did my search yet to see if he's a registered voter in New York. But from what I'm gathering, he's one of these men. He claims to be a black man. He identifies as a black man. He's one of these men that I say are not even registered to vote. At my office where I work, 1, 2, 3, there's like 30 of us in the back. So there's at least 16 men and 16 women. Out of everybody in the office, out of them 32 people, 4 of us are registered voters. But the people who are in the office who talk the loudest, especially the loudest in support of Trump, not a single one of them are registered to vote at all. They just like confusion. They just like this day and age of social media where everybody notices them. They don't care what type of attention they get. They are similar to Trump. I said this years ago when he first started running. He doesn't care what type of attention he gets as long as he got attention. And that's the same mindset that I see a lot of these black men. They don't care what they saying. They just know it's going to get under your skin so you can, girl, I will research the heck out of somebody, you know I will. And then on Pennsylvania, if you want to get their court records, it only costs $1. You can pay $29 and get 29 free records for the whole month, but it only costs $1. And I did that too. Gosh, that's how I used to do when I used to do my lips so dry. When I used to do Ready to Love, and I used to research people, I go to their court system, and if they charge me, it's usually only $1. Like DC, when I did Ready to Love DC, 15 cents a page. That's how much they charge you to get all their court information. It's public information. Some places charge you. But yeah, I got Brian Rosado from Allentown, Pennsylvania. Works at Century 21, Ramos Realty. Got the address of the realty company. There's phone. I ain't gonna say it, but it's right there. His phone number. I got his birthday, 39 years old. Oh yeah, I sure do. And I got a whole lot of information on him. I be looking. I be learning a lot from the Danish guy or Danish guy. How you pronounce his name? Danish, whatever. I be learning a lot from him, but I've always been a researcher. I would research the hell out yourself. Like Tanya, I don't know if she's still in here. Me and Tanya went to boot camp together. We met in 1992, Paris Island. You know, that's my fellow sister Marine right there, right? When we decided to have our very first reunion, I was researching the hell out of our doggone sisters from boot camp, trying to figure out where they was at. Me and this other sister named Kenna, we was researching our ass off. I will find you quick. Get a red light ticket. I will find you based off your driving record. I sure will. I find people quick. That's why I don't tell y'all where I work. That's why I don't tell y'all my real name. Y'all don't, it's too much information y'all have about me. I don't even have my business registered in my legal real name. I have a legal name. It's a DBA that I operate business under. So if like you pull up Survive Beauty, you'll pull up that name, but you ain't gonna pull up my first name at all. I talk too much shit on YouTube. I talk too much shit. You ain't gonna affiliate with my job, get me fired. I think maybe it's one or two people that actually know where I work because they know me personally, or a couple people I remember. I didn't block out in the background of my video when I pulled into the parking lot, and they was able to notice some of the vehicles. They was like, "Oh, you work such and such." So two of y'all know, but I haven't seen them in the channel in about a year. And then my sister came in here a couple times. My sister and my friend Chelsea, and she came in the chat and said my real name, and I pretended that that's not what they said. I think Kat Harlow, she may know my real name because when I left St. Louis, she showed up to my going away party, and I believe my mama and my sister and a few people said my real name at the going away party. Other than that, PJ, if she's still in here, Phone Jones, I think she know my real name. But that's about it. That's it, child. If I meet you in person, then I'll tell you my real name. That's the only time like I feel comfortable telling you my real name, my information. But because of how much and how nosy I am, and be digging people up information and stuff like that. I got one person on this channel. You want to find some old friends from the car? I got you. I got you. I can help you do that. But it's this one girl. I got one subscriber. And she's so crazy. I don't think she even knows that I'm talking about her. For some reason, like she always on the channel, and then she get mad if I don't speak directly to her. But I found like she had 7 different channels. She subscribed to me by from all 7 of the channels. She went and found my damn mama, child. She found my mama, and because I was on my mama page, I was like, why does name sound familiar? And I remember that's the girl I had researched, because I looked her up. And I was like, she is creating too many profiles on YouTube and subscribing to me and talking to me from each profile like she a different person. It could be the same live stream. She would talk to me from each different name. I won't say her name, but y'all will see it sometimes because I talk real shitty to her when she in the doggone chat. Yeah, she crazy. She cuckoo crazy. And like everything she say, everything I say, she do it too. I want to meet her just so I can put a face to her for real. And tell her face to face how the fuck I feel. But people like, people just crazy. You don't need to be having it. You ain't mad crazy, child. But I have one person that's like that. But yeah, I'm nosy. I don't like just randomly go searching for people's information. But if you tick me off, or if you tell me that you need help finding something, I would do everything in my power. There's another YouTube couple that's out here. They was one of my favorite people to watch. There was this couple, they was having some legal issues going on with somebody trying to take their mama's land. They didn't know who. It was kind of like a Queen Sugar type situation. Baby, they hit me up in the email and had me researching. I dug up some stuff that they didn't even know I was gonna find in relation to that whole case. They mama won their case. She got to keep her land. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, but that's exactly what I was doing when I was doing Ready to Love, and all the information when I do my cast reveals and saying what I know about these people. And that's why you would hear me say, from what I could find, this is what I know. I think it may be a couple people I was like, I ain't even sure if it's them because their name is so common. But yeah, I was looking up all their stuff. Anything that's public information. Usually home purchases, voter registration, tickets, if you own a property tax, if you ever had a divorce, you ever filed for child support, you ever went to jail yourself. What else is out there? Of course, you own a business. You could do website searches. If they got a business, got a website up, go down to the bottom of the website, look at the copyright thing, and most times it's registered in their real name. Unlike me, it's registered in my DBA. And that's why I don't use, even on my business, that's why I use the P.O. box, because they want you to use a personal residence. Yeah, so yeah, I look at all that stuff is public information. You can look up My lips is dry, y'all. I'm just like, I'm sitting here looking around. Ooh. Trying to figure out if I got some, hold on. If I got some lip gloss or something. I haven't put on lip gloss in 2 months because I was trying to test out this new one I was gonna make, right? I whipped together this new product, and I be trying to test stuff out on myself. I was supposed to test it out last month, and I don't know why I didn't do it. So I haven't put on any type of lip gloss or anything just to see how effective, how moisturizing it could be. And I just ain't did it just so my lips are dry as heck right now. My hair, baby, it's something. It's locked up again, let me tell you that. I'm not gonna cut it off this time. I'm gonna get it untangled, but I was creating some new stuff to try out on locks. So I allowed my hair to lock up in certain areas, but it just got out of control. It was like weeds just growing, just locked up all over places. And the stuff worked good, but now I just gotta undo the locks in the back of my head. It's really soft right now. This girl was having a problem with her locks drying out, and she kept on using apple cider vinegar in her hair. And I was like, that's good to detox your hair, but that she used like every month. You're not supposed to be putting apple cider vinegar in your hair every month. It's just stripping all your nutrients out. And so we need to add all the good stuff back into her hair. So that's what I was doing. I was creating something to help her locks look soft and luscious. But I'm gonna give it to her soon. I gotta test it out a little bit longer. But anywho, let's see. DNC. Anything else about the DNC that stuck out to y'all that y'all want to talk about? Like I said, that one young lady, I believe her name was Hallie, who spoke about her father, and she said that she was YouTube always mess with the algorithm when you say the R word. She was sexually assaulted. That's the way I'm gonna say it, so they won't block this video. She was sexually assaulted by her stepfather, and she ended up pregnant by him at 12 years old. And that whole, out of the entire DNC, like everything was good to me, but that particular conversation, it just did something to my soul. It was like I didn't even realize I was crying listening to her talk. And she had made the statement about how the MAGA nuts talk about how beautiful it was that Roe versus Wade was overturned, and she kept saying, how beautiful do you think it is for a 12-year-old to have to give birth to her parents' child? I was like, what the fuck? That kicked me in my soul. And throughout all 4 nights, I kept hearing her on that stage saying it over and over again. And I guess being a victim of sexual abuse when I was younger too, probably what triggered it so much. But that was one of the most we hinted around the Obama speeches, but I didn't really talk about them specifically. Child, let me get into the Obama speeches. We could talk about it. So yeah, we just talked about some speeches that really gave us some impact. We thought Reverend Warnock speech and Hakeem Jeffries. Hakeem Jeffries was like the best for me. Reverend Warnock was my friend Tanya's best speech. Miss Kira said she hadn't watched the whole thing yet. Desi J hadn't watched the whole thing yet. So, but the Obama speeches. The only thing I really said earlier about their speeches is that everything that they said that night, I wish they would have had that energy when they were in the White House. But Michelle Obama, first she came out there with a 36-inch ponytail on, child, hair braided up, skin just glowing. You know, they looked happy, they looked relaxed and everything, right? She came out there and she was giving her speech about still grieving for her mom because her mama just passed, and how she wasn't going to speak, but her mama is giving her the strength to speak. Her mama want her to speak. And she talked about that. And then she talked about how when her and Barack were in the White House, how much racism was thrown at them and all the hate that was thrown at them prior to Barack's election. She's like, you know, this is something that we know about, and we know they're gonna do the same thing to Kamala. And she said, let me see if I can quote it. don't think I can quote it. I want to quote the whole thing, but I don't want to be wrong. She was talking about Trump and black jobs or what have you. She said, who gonna tell him that the office that he's seeking, the job that he's seeking, just might be one of those black jobs? And then she did this face like, it was almost like she took a bitch on the end of that. That's how I felt when she said she did this. I was like, she dropped that when they go, yes, she dropped that when they go high, we go low. She was like, no, I'm going to speak on it today. Okay. He going after one of them black jobs. You know what I'm saying? Oh, the last live stream that, dang, I was going to get to the last live stream. Because I was going to talk about the NABJ when Trump went to go speak to them. And how he brought up the black jobs. Or they brought up black jobs. And they was like, well, what is a black job? And he said, you know, that's a job like that anybody could have. So, and if you're not sure about what he was referring to, he had said in one of his speeches that the immigrants were coming in here stealing all the black jobs. They remixed her black jobs comment in a TikTok song. Oh, I'm going to have to look for that. I'm going to have to look for that. I'm still on... I'm a never Trump guy. I'm a never Trump guy. That they remixed it. I love that. Then Barack Obama come out after, and he was just talking about how Trump is fascinated with crowd sizes. He was like, it's weird that he keep worrying about the crowd sizes. You know how it was like Trump giving little dick energy. If somebody always worried about how big the doggone crowd size is, and you know Obama doing the accordion hands like, now President Obama himself has never saw his Peter, but however, if you read Stormy Daniels' book, Stormy Daniels said in her own words in her book how short in nature his nature is. That's a good way. You know, so Barack Obama was just collaborating with Stormy Daniels said in her book. But when he said it, I was not ready. I don't even know if it was intentional, because it was like he was just talking about it and he started doing his hands and he realized what his hands was doing. He was like, oh, I don't know if it was intentional or not, but it was so perfectly timed. It was. They was throwing some shots at him. They was going at him, and that's probably why I liked Hakeem Jeffries' speech too. When he did that speech about Trump being an old boyfriend that just don't know how to let go. He was like, he done spun the block several times. He's stalking you, and he keep trying to get back into a relationship with America. Dude, we broke up with you for a reason. That speech started that whole analogy. I was like, I downloaded that, child. Like, that was good. That was like the perfect analogy. He's like the stalker boyfriend that don't want to let go. He don't know how to say no. We already know that because he's been convicted of sexual assault. So we already know he don't know how to like listen to the word no. So yeah, he's that stalker that keep coming around, and you done told him time and time again you don't want to be with his ass no more, and he keep coming back. Yeah, that's him for sure. That's him for sure. Okay, child. So something's going on with my lips. Hold on for a second, child. I really have nothing next to my bed. No lip gloss, no Vaseline, no lotion, no hair grease. I ain't got no stuff in my hair, oil in my hair. Nothing on my bed. Oh wait, I'm just gonna be up here with the ashy lips, looking like I'm a crackhead. Yeah, those were some of the three most impactful stories to me. Now, when we did the last live stream, we was talking about the VP selection, and I told y'all that Josh Shapiro was my guy. Was it just me? Now, just now I realized this, and maybe this is why I'm drawn to him so much. Josh Shapiro sounds just like Barack Obama, and or well, Barack Obama sound like a black preacher sometimes too. If you close your eyes and listen to Josh Shapiro speak, he sound like a black minister. Maybe that's why I'm drawn to him. But I love me some Josh Shapiro, y'all. Y'all can't tell me nothing wrong about Josh Shapiro. Yeah, that's my dog right there. That's my dog. That he gave a good speech too. He's always the one talking about we just be getting shit done. I love it. I am very pleased with Tim Walz as a selectee as well. When we did our live stream about the VP selection, I didn't have much to say about him. I was like, we don't know nothing about him really, other than the situation with the NRA. And if you're unfamiliar with that, he was part of the NRA. He was a dedicated donor, guns guy. He's still a guns guy. But when the Lakeland Park, is it Lakeland Park? Or is it Parkland Lake? Oh, I don't want to get that wrong. There was a school shooting that happened. When that shooting happened, he decided to sever ties with the NRA. All the money that they had given to him while he was in office, he actually donated it, all of them out, the exact dollar amount, back to organizations to help families who have been victims of school shootings. That was the only thing that I had found about Tim Walz at the time we did that video. And I was like, okay, at least he saw the error in his ways, and he came back up. Like, he still owned guns. I know a lot of Democrats that own guns. Just because we own guns does not mean that we support automatic weapons being in the hands of people who don't need to have them. When J.D. Vance tried to attack his military record, I was insulted that he was a fucking Marine. J.D. Vance. I was insulted that he was a Marine. And it's weird because, like, when I was in service, the PR people, I don't recall them having a unit. I could have sworn that the PR people, when I went in, which was 92, they were actors and models. I remember them saying that. So, but I know we do have media people. And so for his particular job, he drove journalists and photographers to their destination. That was J.D. Vance's job in the military. He did 4 years, which is basically the average length of service of a Marine. A lot of branches, they only have a 2-year service. Marine Corps is 4. And so he did his 4 years and he got out as a corporal. But for him to come and shit on somebody that did 20 fucking 4 years in service because he didn't carry a weapon into war, I was like, the fuck you mean? Any Marine from back then or right now, when you go into boot camp, the weapon they assign you in boot camp is the same weapon that you take into war. So whether you actually physically go into war or not, you are still carrying a weapon that is intended for war. So he made a slip up saying, when talking about assault weapons and the weapons that he carried into war, he never physically went into a war himself, but he did carry a weapon of war. Your M16, I'm not sure if they still use the M16 right now, but the one they assign you in boot camp, you keep that through your entire service. While you're in boot camp. You get assigned a new weapon when you go to your camp. You get assigned a new weapon when you go to camp, let me say. But you still assigned a weapon that is meant for war, whether you actually physically go into a war or not. That's what I'm trying to say. That's the point I'm trying to get across. I'm about to say something wrong. And Donald Trump didn't have any service at all. He had bone spurs, which prevented him from going into the military, which has not been proven. Let me say that too. From what the news pundits say, Donald Trump's father paid for his son to have medical documentation generated that said he had bone spurs, which prevented him from going into the military. Just like with his ear nick. How he didn't want to provide medical documentation. It took the FBI weeks to get any type of medical documentation to show proof that he was actually nicked in the ear. He wouldn't turn in the medical records at first. He had a doctor who was not the doctor that he was examined by draw up his paperwork. So like when you go into the Marine Corps, I'm not sure what happened back when he went in, but when I went in, we went through MEPS. And that's the military entry something. I forgot what the PS stood for. And all the branches of service, we all down in this one big building together going through. And we saw the doctor there. Okay, so that doctor, you're supposed to state any type of problems that you may have, whatever. But they do give you like a little basic exam. They give you another exam when you show up for boot camp as well. But he had a doctor, basically a doctor's note that he can give to the military to show that he had bone spurs, which is why he couldn't go. So it probably didn't prove it. What happened to his bone spurs? My back itch, sorry. Do we still got them right now? What happened to his bone spurs? I'm just saying. Okay. So I think I got everything on my list that I thought I was going to talk about. We talked about the maggots in the food. We talked about him tweeting on social, True Social. Oh, there was one post that he had made on True Social. And when Kamala was talking about Trump, and he tweeted, "Is she talking about me?" And Kamala Harris's campaign has made an account on True Social just to troll Trump's account. So when he tweeted, "Is she talking about me?" they retweeted it and said, "Why, yes," as the response, which of course pissed him off. We talked about the protesters and why they've been protesting outside the DNC and not the RNC, and the reason why they decided to protest. We talked about Ann Coulter, dank ass, and how she tried to go for Gus. We talked about the DNC roll call. Talked about the performances that weren't supposed to happen, put out there by TMZ. We talked a little bit about Biden's age. Yeah, Kamala's social media is top to whoever's running her social media accounts is top tier. And then all the TikTokers that are making videos as well, and then they're retweeting those videos. I didn't know what the hell the damn coconut thing was about, child. Because my daughter like, we going crazy on TikTok with the coconut thing. I was like, what the fuck is the coconut thing? Well, apparently there was a speech that Kamala gave back in the day, and she was talking about her mama would give them advice, and she would say to them, "What you think, you fell out of a coconut tree?" or something like that. And then they took that and they made songs out of it. They made memes out of it. They made all kind of crazy stuff. What was I finna say? Yeah, and Trump pissed about being called weird. JD Vance being pissed about called weird. I still have not watched that movie, y'all. The Hillbilly Elegy. I still haven't watched it. Apparently, he was lying in that movie anyway. He didn't actually live in Kentucky. He would go down to Kentucky for the summers with his grandparents. He didn't live in Kentucky at all. He lived in Ohio until it was schools. That dude is strange. But there was supposed to be a passage inside his book that talks about him fucking a couch. It was supposed to be about something like, you remember the movie American Pie? How he was having sex with the pie? You know, to simulate having sex with a woman. Supposedly that's what he did in this book. But since I haven't read the book, I can't say yes or no that's really in there. Because now people are saying that's not in the book. I haven't read the book to see. But that's basically what happened. That's how the whole couch situation went out. And Tim Walz had made some comment that he was ready to debate JD Vance as long as he can get up off the couch. That's what he was referring to when he made that statement. That he was having sex with the couch. He's like, he put a Ziploc bag or some type of sandwich bag down in between the seams and he would fuck the couch. So that's what that whole situation. If you wasn't sure about what that was, that's the whole situation about. But he talked about the cat lace. Oprah. I done talk about Oprah. Y'all know I'm not the biggest Oprah fan, but I was a fan of her doing this DNC. Oprah gave a very good damn speech. A very good speech. She was over the top with her energy too. And I wasn't mad at her. I was like, go ahead on Oprah. Because I usually don't be rah-rah for you, girl. But that was good. Oprah gave a good speech. I forgot what I was going to say. I forgot what I was going to say. JD Vance, we was talking about him. So, talked about him in the couch. The cat ladies. Oh, she gave a shout out to the cat ladies. That's how Oprah got this conversation. Talk about him and the cat ladies and how he think women without children should not have voting rights. He said that they should have less voting power as somebody who has a family, and then stated that he believed that we shouldn't have voting rights on women without children or people without children. Actually, he said women without children, but he threw Pete Buttigieg's name in there, was trying to make it seem like that he talked about everybody. He was making a dig at the fact that Pete Buttigieg is homosexual. That's what he was making a dig at. He was including him with the women. Okay. Then he came out to say that his mother-in-law, basically after you have a baby, you only good for raising them or something like that. He doesn't want women to have anything to do with anything. He has mentioned before that women should stay in abusive relationships. To leave is cowardly or something of that nature. That's not a quote, but there's something along the lines. He is weird. He's like the dude that was in school that was getting bullied, that would try to say cool things or try to say smart things to be in with the in crowd, and everybody be sitting looking at him like, okay, that type of dude. That's what he reminds me of. He's changed his name 100 times. So he's been trying to go in on Kamala, talking about she doesn't know what identity she is. She's a fraud. Your name started off as James Hamill. I am embarrassed he's a Marine. I'm upset he's a Marine. But his name is James Hamill. Then he changed his name to, what's the second name he changed to? James Button. Pete has 2 kids. He has twins. But Pete didn't give birth to these twins, so he don't count them. Like Kamala has 2 stepchildren. He don't count those as her kids. So she's not considered a mother. So JD Vance, what I was saying about him? I lost my train of thought again, child. I don't forget what I was saying about the man. Oh, his name was James Hamill. He switched his name to James Duggins or something like that. I forgot. I just said what it was, and I can't remember. Then he changed his name to James Douglas. And then he switched it to J.D. And then he became James Vance. He's changed his name so many times. So I'm still, hey Archie Ryder, how you doing? I'm still researching him, because there is a way for you to get somebody's military records as well under the Freedom of Information Act. But I have to know what name he served under. I believe he served under James Hamill. He was a Democrat up until 2014. And then he decided to turn to Republican. But Trump used to be a Democrat too, y'all. Yeah, hella shiesty. Trump used to be a Democrat too. RFK Jr. The bird, I don't even know what to call him with the bird. The worm, he had worms in the brain, is what he said, and then he did something with a dead bird in Central Park. He used to be a Democrat too, and then they became independent, and now they're like MAGA nuts. I can't even call them Republicans. They MAGA nuts because they so far outside of what a Republican used to be. There's a pic of him looking like a Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs. Really? I seen the picture of him in drag. Actually, I ain't gonna say it was in drag. He was in the Halloween costume. In the Halloween costume, he had a long blonde wig on. But he had a friend that was supposed to be a drag queen. It said that JD Vance broke his friendship off because of his sexuality or something like that. I, for one, and I still believe it, that him and Peter Thiel are an item. Because I cannot see this billionaire steady giving this man money without getting something in return. And nine times out of 10, people with power and money like that, when they dolling it out like that, it's usually something sexual. Which is the same thing I say about Clarence Thomas too. I think Clarence Thomas cuckolding, for real. I'm just gonna be honest. I just think he cuckolding. He watching somebody do his wife up, and he there with the camera or licky himself, whatever. That's just me. That's my personal opinion. Now, but that's what I think is going on with JD Vance and Peter Thiel, because Peter Thiel has been doling out money to him since before he started to run. Every investment that he's had, Peter Thiel has funded his pockets. If you don't know who Peter Thiel is the owner of PayPal. He is a homosexual male, billions of dollars. Y'all know what I'm saying? And he has been funding everything that JD Vance has done since he graduated from Yale. JD Vance, like Trump, has started a multitude of businesses. None of them currently exist. I think maybe one, probably still doing something. But he's a venture capitalist, so to speak. Basically, they take other people's money and try to do things and start businesses with them and make money out, like Shark Tank. They basically venture capitalists. But Peter Thiel has been the one to fund every project he's had. So when he decided to run for election, that's when initially he was very vocal about hating Trump, about Trump being Hitler, this, that, and the third, right? But when he decided, and it was a black man that he was running against, I brought this up before, there was a black man that he was running against in office. And at the way that he was running his campaign at the time, he knew he could not beat that man. So he dropped out of the race, right? So when he decided to re-enter into politics, that's the second time he decided to re-enter in as a Trump supporter. And Trump was pretty popular at this particular time when JD Vance decided to run as a Trump supporter. And that's when his whole language changed. So prior to him doing that, he was a Democrat. And he was running against Trump when he was saying all those things you see in the news about him being a never Trump guy and Trump being the opioid and all that stuff. He was running as a Democrat against another man who happened to be black. And that black man was winning in his district. And he knew he couldn't win and he backed out. So when he came back in, which was 2 years later, back into politics again, he was a Trump supporter. So Trump was on Fox and Friends lying like a rug about Kamala so bad. On Fox? On Fox News. Now, after the convention, oh my goodness, after the convention, Donald Trump called into Fox News. He was rambling on and on and on, child. They cut him off. Apparently, when they cut him off, and said they had to go do another segment or whatever, they was like, okay, Mr. President, all right. And they cut him off, right? He called some other right-wing news media place, talked to them for a minute. He called Fox back later on that night. They wouldn't even talk to him. I said that's because Fox News was down at that damn convention. And they left that convention full of joy. I don't know what was in the damn air in Chicago. But that convention was so positive. I mean, everybody was turned up. They had every type of music. They had the Native community there, the Latino community, the Asian community, the black community, the white community, the American Samoan community. They had everybody there partying together. And if you was on any live stream, just go down in the comment section People from all over the world, New Zealand, Australia, Britain, Canada, Sweden, everybody in the comments. There was even some Russian people that said they was from Russia in the comment section, like, go Tim Walz, go Kamala Harris. That we celebrated in the comment section. Like, it was trolls. Of course we had trolls in there, but people was ignoring the trolls. They was skipping them, and it was like frustrating the trolls, and people wasn't talking back and forth to them. Because again, they just want attention. They don't care what type of attention they get. As long as somebody is paying attention to them and engaging with them, that's all that matter. That's all that matter. So, I mean, it was a good time. It was a time to be had. I'm probably going to watch a lot of it again. Apparently, on night 4, I must have fell asleep again. I miss Gavin Newsom. He is kind of handsome. Gavin Newsom is kind of handsome. I miss Gavin Newsom, and I missed when they did the Rainbow Coalition. Jesse Jackson. When they did Jesse Jackson tribute, I missed all of that. I called Stevie. I miss Patti LaBelle. I don't know what night Patti LaBelle formed on, but they said she performed. John Legend. Somebody was with John Legend. They did Prince. Now, I like John Legend, but y'all know I love me some Prince. I love me some Prince. Why John Legend sing a Prince song like it was an old Negro spiritual? I was like, did he really turn that into an old Negro spiritual? He got a good voice, but I was like, John, come on now. He gonna do it as old Negro spiritual. But yes, I love Pink. And like I said, with Pink and Willow came out, the Dixie Chicks. I'm sorry, sis, y'all was not Dixie Chicks. They are now the Chicks. Because when the whole Confederate flag antebellum thing happened, they changed their name to just Chicks. Like the group Lady Antebellum, they changed their name to just Lady A because they didn't want to be associated with slavery. Sheila E. That's right. Sheila E. and John Legend came out. John Legend's son, that sounded like it was an old Negro spiritual. I was like, boy. Stevie Wonder. Did I mention him already? Stevie Wonder did his thing. Patty was day 2. Yeah, that's exactly how John Legend sounds. But I was like, don't do that to Prince. Don't do that to Prince, though. I think in another live, the one I actually ended up canceling because I couldn't get to it. I was gonna talk about the fact that Megan, he messed Prince song up for me. He did, and I like John Legend. I was like, who cleared this? Who cleared this? And you gonna put Sheila E. with just trying to make who cleared this? But yeah, I miss Patty. I don't know how Patty did. I didn't see Gavin Newsom, so I got to go back and see him. I got to see the Jesse Jackson thing. Now, if y'all probably noticed that a lot of the women there, some of them had on white. Okay, so Fannie Lou Hamer was also another black woman who had ran for nomination. You know, she had her strife with getting into political positions and things like that. They were wearing white to represent Fannie Lou Hamer. Kamala Harris was supposed to wear white as well. She didn't. She wore dark blue, navy blue. And yeah, like I said, she was trying to make sure that this night was about her. So that's why she didn't even participate with the white clothes and that stuff, because she didn't want to take away from her message. But yeah, I like John Legend, but he should have did the Prince song. I can't even remember what song he did now. It wasn't Let's Go Crazy, was it? What song did John Legend do? They supposed to be doing a movie about Miss Fannie. Oh, really? That'll be interesting. I'll have to check that out. See what they do with that. Let's see. It was cute, Olivia Pope and and the president, came out together. Everybody saying that they messing around for real anyway. So yeah, when Kerry Washington and Tony Goldwyn came out together, That was really cute. I was all in the comment section like, okay, Miss Pope and President, I see y'all. I see y'all. So that was cute. And then she had Kamala's family, her nieces, her children, her goddaughter, her sister. Everybody came out. Let's go crazy. How you do let's go crazy? It was like a old nigga spiritual child. Just John, baby. John. Yeah. But I still had a good time though. I was turned up in the comment section. Like if y'all on any live stream and y'all see blue waves going across the screen, that's me. Y'all be like, I'm riding the blue wave. That's me just doing all that. I think Carrie likes that man in real life as well, child. And they seen too many places together. That's quite a friendship. But I think she has a crush on Tony Goldwyn for weird, and vice versa. But yeah, she had her niece and her goddaughter, and they come out and say with her the correct saying of her name. Now I have to admit, I used to say her name wrong too. I was Kamala, Kamala. I was saying all kind of things, but that was at the point that I didn't give a damn about who she was. When she first ran president, I didn't give a fuck about saying her name. Bill Clinton was saying her name wrong all night. But he got some. Bill Clinton has some swag. He just got some swag about him. Like I say, he looked damn good for 78. He looks too good for 78. Trying to figure out what else I missed. It was some big moments that I know I missed. I thought AOC was outstanding. Jasmine Crockett. Westmore is fine as hell. I'm looking at him like I don't even know what that man said. I was just like, he is fine. Woo. The governor of Maryland. Westmore is fine. Child. I don't know what that man said, but he looked good. He said something about the military because he kept saying something in the wake up. And when I heard people say that, I know for a fact that's definitely a military person. Jasmine had the alliteration. Jasmine went off. I love me some Jasmine Crockett, baby. So the first night, like I said, was 6 hours long, so I know I didn't see everybody. Tim Walz's son. I thought Gus spoke about Tim Walz on the first night. Oprah looks damn good for 70. Oprah on that Ozempic though, so but Oprah looked damn good for 70. Oprah gave me life, and I'm not really an Oprah fan. She really gave me life. I was like, go ahead on, girl. I was trying to figure out who I expected. You know what would have sent me over? Because a lot of people was calling for like Mike Pence to show up. I don't think that would have been authentic. But who I'd have been knocked over with a feather if Chris Christie would have came out on that stage. He was one of the my phone about to die. I'm gonna wrap this up, y'all. I'm at 5% on my phone. Hold on. But if Chris Christie had came out on that stage, I would have been knocked over with a feather. Because he was one of the first people to say he was going to be determined not to get Trump into the White House. He's going to make sure he's going to do everything in his power to not get him in the White House. Him, Liz Cheney, heck, even George W. Bush. Because at the RNC, none of the former presidents supported Donald Trump. It was if any one of them would have came out, it would have knocked me over for the feather. Because I know, but Mike Pence wouldn't have worked because Mike Pence is still gonna vote for him. If I'm not mistaken, he said he's still gonna vote for him. Liz Cheney and Chris Christie, they both said they weren't gonna vote for him, but Mike Pence is. RFK, he already dropped out of the race. He's now endorsed Trump. I think he's trying to get a job with Trump. All right, my phone just told me I had 5% battery life left, y'all. Nah. You say he shouldn't? Who shouldn't? Big Gretch from Detroit had that short white dress on. Yeah, she was representing Fannie Lou Hammer. That was the reason why she wore that white. And she spoke 2 different nights. I could have sworn she spoke on night 2 as well. Oh, Pence, yeah. I think Pence is supposed to be voting for him because he says he's still going to vote Republican. He shouldn't. But then again, they say everything they want to say on TV, but when they get into that voting booth, ain't no telling what's going to happen. I know what I'm going to do. I'm voting blue all the way through. And y'all, I don't know what's going on around here in Florida. As y'all know, Florida's a deep red state. I told y'all about statistics in Florida before. I'm going to say this before the camera go off. Florida has like 4.7 million Democrats. But they had like 5-something million Republicans. The Republicans just registered another million, I believe, that's going to really outweigh the Democrats in the state. But we had 4 million people in Florida who are not registered or who have not voted at all. They are registered to vote and have not voted. That's 4,000 undecided voters. If Kamala Harris or Tim Walz would speak more to these rural areas that they always overlook, I think they could draw in so many more people. If they could just turn 1/10 of those people, that will push the Democratic numbers up higher. Yeah, I looked up the statistics in Florida. We got that many people who are registered voters that don't vote at all. And like I said, just based off my office where I work for the fucking government. Just the back half of my office is 32 of us. Only 4 of us actually vote. Even though they talk about politics all day long in their office, only 4 of us actually vote. Just 4. I've been arguing with people for years since I've been here. It's frustrating. And that's a clear representation of how this state is. But just going around, I have never seen so many Democratic signs in people's yards. They about to flip this state, baby. Or they going to get damn close to doing it. And I can't wait to get DeSantis out of here. We can't vote for him out until 2026. But I can't wait to get his ass out of here. I have ordered my yard sign. I got me 2 buttons. They're supposed to ship them out on September 5th. I'm ready. I can't wear them at work because of our government organization. We're not allowed to wear any type of political attire at work until after the election. But I'm ready. It's going to be all over my goddamn yard. Y'all going to see me in the videos with them and everything. Let me get off here, y'all, before my camera die for real, for real. I'm on 4%. Thank y'all for coming out. Thank y'all for joining this second stream. I had gave up on the first one. We came back and y'all came back with me. I really appreciate it. And we will talk to y'all again in another video. I'm coming back next week with some reviews. I'm going to finish out Blood and Water. Finish out 3 Little Birds. And then we're going to, hopefully in a couple weeks, I'll be able to come back with Travel and Talk. I still have not got my settlement from my car crashes yet. So I'm still not supposed to talk about what happened in my life and everything. And I'm trying to avoid it because, like, I know my mouth runs 100 miles a minute. I start talking about my life and then y'all start hearing everything. And they still want me to keep the case off of social media until it's been completely settled. So, yeah. I'll talk about that in detail. Got another show for you to review. What show? I know somebody told me Supercell. I'm supposed to be watching that. What's the other show you want me to look at? I need something to watch until Power come back on. I'm running out of shows. I've been on YouTube watching other people review Game of Thrones again. That's what I've been watching. Serpent Queen. I've always wanted to watch that. I don't know why I like British dramas and British TV. Okay, Serpent Queen. If that's the same type. But if not, I'm going to still go look into it anyway and see what that's about. So Serpent Queen. Supercell. Somebody told me to watch Supercell. It says it's only 6 episodes. So I'm going to try to get to Supercell. But I want to finish out Blood and Water and 3 Little Birds first. 3 Little Birds is only 6 episodes. Blood and Water is only 8. And I think I was like halfway through before I had my accidents. So I'll put Supercell on this, and then I'll look up Serpent Queen, see what's going on with that. Because I do need another show to review. Because I don't have anything until Power comes back on. and excuse me, and The Handmaid's Tale next year. So again, thank y'all. Y'all have a good night. I'll see you in the next video. I'm going to see Twisters tomorrow. We're going to see the 4D experience where like you can feel the wind and the rain and everything in the theater. I'll tell y'all about that after it happened in another video. See y'all again. Peace.